And therefore, about a week and a half later, she phoned him. She recorded him illegally, okay, asking the same questions. But more than that, when she knew that she was recording him, she was mentioning my name. She was mentioning my name to try to incriminate me.
And Zamit was very sketchy. He didn't really respond when
she
said John.
But this is what I'm concentrating on Swedish Match. These are the people. In fact, I've already sued them in Belgium for defamation. I instituted that court case on the 13th of December of 2012. In fact, that court case is not only now involving Swedish Match, but it has also been extended to Olaf for complicity with Swedish Match. Okay? And there again, the things are moving, in my regard, very slowly.
On the 29th, why was there communication between you and Zamit? There were two telephone calls.
First of all, on the 29th, I remember because I made that very clear already. Zamit phoned me. I was just opening a conference on GMO. I had 300 people in front of me. And it was Telestreet. And I simply cut off. It was 8 seconds. I told him I can't talk to you, obviously. Then I phoned back as I usually do, okay? And tell him, what did you want? And in a letter I wrote to Kessler, it was after he issued this report on the 25th of, I told him what I can now recall, because I couldn't remember on what he was talking to me about. For sure, he was not talking to me about snus, okay? But during that period, but Kessler is not interested in this. It doesn't fit his conclusions. Doesn't fit. But the facts are that during that period, not only there was the campaign going for the local elections, okay, I think, or he was elected as vice chairman. I don't know what the dates really are. The elections were in the beginning, I think, of March, middle of March. And I think probably by that date he was elected as vice mayor here. But at that time as well, there was the tender for the lottery in Malta, because the award that I had given 7 years before had elapsed, and a new tender was issued to give the tender, the operation of the lotto here. Zamit was involved in that tender. When I came to Malta after this happened, it was at the end of October, somebody told me that Zamit had opened a gaming shop in Malta. On the lottery. And then I did recall, I said, well, this is what he was talking to me about. He was talking to me about, since I had given the tender of the lotto 7 years before. Okay. He was seeking what can he do, what is the advice. He was complaining that the Minister of Finance at the time was not acting fairly.
But those are very short conversations, isn't what you're saying? It sounds like a much longer conversation.
No, it's not a question of a short conversation.
There were two short conversations on the 29th.
No, on the 29th there was an 8-second conversation which was not a conversation, but which naturally Kessler uses for his own, because he is a manipulator, okay? Uses for his own lens as if there was a conversation. There wasn't a conversation.
No, but now you're saying you recall the conversation about the lottery.
Not at that. Afterwards, I tell you. And then I phoned him afterwards. And what I'm telling you is that at that period, okay, Zamit used to call me about these issues. Okay? And the second telephone call was not 8 seconds, it was a little longer.
Exactly. You're saying he was talking about this whole lotteries problem. It sounds like it would take a much longer conversation than a few seconds.
No. Ma nafx kemm kienet il-conversation.
40 seconds, something along those lines.
Ma nafx. I don't know how much it was. But basically, he could have been doing something, and I told him, I don't know, I'm not interested. Okay? It could have been something like that. But during the period, okay, and I believe that also I know there was communication. There must have been a lot of communication, not only with Inge Delfos. There was a lot of communication with the people responsible for the lotto during that period. There was a lot of communication with Gail Kimberley, who was also involved in the lottery issue, since she was an employee of the Gaming Authority. And this is, again, what I think could have been happening. He was complaining, she was telling him about some issues, he was checking these issues with me. I mean, this is it. But Kessler, is not interested in it. Kessler is a manipulator, and he invented all his conclusions here are his inventions. Okay? He doesn't have any proof of anything. He simply invented it because when he started, and this is my accusations, Kessler is a fraud, and publish this so that he will sue me, okay? I'd like to have him understand, all right? With me asking him questions, all right? Kessler is a fraud, okay? And when he started, or when he was made to start this investigation, and I tell you why, okay? He already had the conclusion. He had to find something. They had the big news that I met with Gail Kimberley in this office. He said this was like my bedroom, here, or glass, etc. I must be a very
exhibitionist,
freak, maybe he is. I mean, I don't know. But this he said is like meeting her in my bedroom, in this office. Okay, so you can imagine how manipulative he is. Okay, and he was made to start this, and he already had this conclusion, because again he had in his hands this meeting, which was described by Gail Kimberley as she was here. We had discussed, we had mentioned many things. I was ready to change the directive, and then I went out of the office, and then they started to discuss money together, and this never happened. It was a lie, complete lie. When he found that it was a lie, then he had to find something else, and he started trying to put a mosaic of all these fictitious conjectures.